All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to another episode. All right, everybody, listen up, listen up. Oh man, woo! We get to see more and more. Mm, how childish it is out there in the matrix. Oh my goodness, yes. So let those notifications go out. I know we got going a little bit later than usual today. Uh, it's just the way it is. We got a late start today. And for a good reason, because God had me test something out on my walk today. And so he wanted to show me where we are at. And so well, first of all, I got up a little bit later than usual. It happens. It happens. It happens. And then uh, another puzzle piece in the recovery process. Yes, something else just woke up today, and it's been fantastic discovering more about that and how it's interconnected to everything else that's going on. It's really fascinating what God is teaching me about my own body. I tell you, it really is. So we're going to do our typical engineering thing while those notifications go out. And so we're going to do our typical as a reminder for those of you who may not receive your notification when we go live. I don't know, tech glitches, whatever, but we are going to change our thinking. Okay, we are going to stop thinking negatively, and I'm not saying we don't analyze the discrepancies in numbers. Of course we do, because we want to make sense of things. We want to understand. We know the why in the spiritual as far as certain things, right? Like I'm seeing a number discrepancy already, right? Okay. See, that's the thing. That's why we got to tell Satan to get behind us, because there's no reason for that. You know what I'm saying? But he's been playing head games today. And I'm going to share something with you all. And it's very, very childish. But it is something that used to work in the past. Never forget the importance of what the enemy's doing. Okay, he's always going to only do what used to work in the past. But let's get these formalities out of the way. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance. And so we are going to dive into this because it's very important. And I want y'all to feel free to drop your insights in that chat. And then when you catch us on replay, in the comment section below, because it's very important for us to have these discussions as we continue to strive to be more Christ-like, spiritual warriors for Christ. Every single day, we're striving to be more Christ-like, becoming more mature. Okay? Yes, the enemy can see that. And so what he did when he sent that Jezebel across my path to cause some minor injury that would cause me to do some things that we did when we were, just, toddlers, right? Learning how to walk again correctly, that is. Learning how to walk again correctly, right? And then I don't, just listen, y'all, bear with me, okay? Because radio frequency poisoning does this. And when I was in the previous environment, it did get ramped up a little bit. So there's another thing going on. It's almost like getting re-potty trained. And I was like, okay, Heavenly Father, I was like, why? But okay, this is so crazy making, right? And then there for a short while, almost having to learn how to speak again about it. Yeah, because he could not stand to see the fact that we are becoming more well-seasoned. Yes, he can't stand the fact that we are becoming more well-seasoned. I have learned that when the Wi-Fi acts up like that, the enemy's been playing head games all day today. So for anybody else that he may be doing that too, just know that's all it is. And the only reason he'll continue to mess with the Wi-Fi is because we mention it. So I've learned that whatever statement I made before the Wi-Fi went out, because you might not get it, I'm going to repeat it right after we come back on. Just to give y'all a heads up. Make sure you get that message. And basically when he does that, it just confirms what I am talking about as far as this ties right into the topic. This is why I'm sharing this with you all, okay? Nothing. I can do about it except follow God's instruction. So, right, we've got the walking correctly again down pat. Okay, we've got that down pat. And the other things are coming along nicely as well. So there you go. All right, we're just following God's step. He's telling us what to do, what to get, okay, to accommodate for this and for that. So we want to keep in mind that when things like that go down, because I was like, it just feels so toddler-like, and because it is. Remember, that matrix is extremely childish. And we start to see this. Because, yes, the social media platforms, not all of them, but the majority of them do continue to treat people as toddlers. Because the enemy is trying to take on a parental role when the enemy is just a toddler himself. Talk about CD in action. Remember, he threatened God, right there? In Isaiah. And I'm going to pull it up because it's so important. I'm going to pull it up. It's in our devil and narcissism space. I'm going to pull it up because this is exactly what we see the enemy trying to do. Isaiah 14, verses 13 and 14, okay? Well, you have Jesus. Okay, this is Jesus talking. For thou hast said in thine heart, I, Lucifer. Okay, here we go again. Isaiah 14, 13 through 14. For thou hast said in thy heart, I, meaning Lucifer, will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. And God was like, really? Gave him the boot right out of heaven. Okay? And so we come to realize that we do the same thing with his flying monkey narcissist. That's right. When God awakens us to and from all that. So we start to see how they are toddlers in adult body. And so I know it takes a while to wrap our heads around. But then the more we see the same kind of behaviors out there in society, yes, you all, seriously, it does appear as though there's a rise at first in narcissism. But we come to realize later on, because we're becoming aware of it, right? We're just now noticing this. And so it seems as though, oh my gosh, there's a big rise in narcissism. No, okay, we learn later on that it's always been here. It's just that we're noticing it more. And yeah, you could say that social media plays a role in helping us notice it more. And so we also notice the childish behaviors on social media too. We can start to see through that and how they behave on social media. Because I'm here to tell y'all that for those of you who might be feeling a bit hesitant or whatever for, to content, create content, listen, go ahead. If God called you to do it, he put it on your spirit to do it. Anyway, I don't care if I get 1,000 views and 3 likes. Eventually, God's going to take care of that. Because that would mean that 997 narcissists viewed. That's how I look at it. So that's for somebody. Because we don't allow ourselves to get discouraged. Because we know now what's going on. And the social media platforms, they don't care about us. I go more in detail on that on the Patreon channel. Okay, and the thing is that we don't need to let these evildoers out here get to us, y'all. We got the power and authority on the inside of us from the Godhead to not allow them to get under our skin anymore. We get to that point where nothing triggers us. So let me share something else with you all. The enemy has been playing head games, right? That's all he's got. And so I go to log into my admin side of CHA Academy. Okay, the Academy. I go to log in. Doing nothing different. Because I typically, if I don't log in the morning or the evening, I always try to make sure I log in while I'm eating lunch. Just to make sure I'm getting in there every day. If I miss a day, my bad. I will get to y'all. Okay, seriously. But I try my best. Okay, to get up there. And if I do it, usually it's during lunch. And I went to log in today, and I was met with an error page that would have confused the old version of me, would have tricked the old version of me into following the instructions they were giving us if I'm the owner of the site, which I am and I'm not. Thinkific is the owner of the site. Okay. I'm just the instructor, the academy. But anyhow, I would have, right, because it's my CNAME. For those who don't know what that is, that's our domain, okay? CHAacademybtbw.com, okay? That's our custom domain for the academy. And so it would trick the old version of me into going and chasing my tail because it was telling me I need to double check my CNAME and make sure this is correct, that's correct, blah, blah, blah. In other words, distracting me because it was about 1:15ish that occurred as I was getting ready to go and get some other stuff done. I had a couple of things I had to get done before I got on here live. That's why we're a little bit later today. So thank you for your patience. Again, like I said, anywhere between 2 and 4. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, depending on what's going on. So the enemy knows I'm going to get up here and go live at some point, right? But it doesn't know the exact moment. Only God knows that. And I knew it would be around 2:45. It was actually 2:47, so close enough. And yeah, meeting met with that error page would have caused the old version of me to feel a little ping of fear. The old version, right? The new version, me. When I saw that, I went, oh, right, the enemy's just playing head games. So I restarted the computer, turned off the Wi-Fi, rebooted the computer, went over to my phone that's not on the Wi-Fi, logged in to the academy there, and I was like, okay, so I just checked that one. And so then when I was able to get up and running again, and then all of that, okay, I was able to log in. And so I like to go in and check and see if there's any discussion. I usually get email notifications, but y'all know how tech is. So I want to go in and see if any of y'all have left a question or a comment that I need to respond to or whatever. Okay, listen, I am active in there. I'm not the type of instructor that once you enroll, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not like that. I'm right there with y'all. Dropping weekly content, fun fact videos, short sermons that I put in the Spiritual Warriors for Christ membership space that you have access to if you enroll in the course. Listen, y'all, when you enroll in any of the courses and become a member, you get access to the community forum where there's different spaces in there. Okay, there's a space for how to deal with toxic coworkers. There's a space for the trauma bond course. There's a space for the 5P course. And there's a space for the Spiritual Warriors for Christ membership. And so that just helps to keep things a little bit more organized. But you can always drop your question either in the course discussion area itself or in the community general. Okay, you can always do that. But I do recommend, if it is a specific question for, let's say, the trauma bond course, we want to try to keep that in the trauma bond course space if we do it in the community, okay? So I highly appreciate that. We want to keep things straight. But nonetheless, we can do that because the Godhead and I help y'all keep it straight, all right? Because God is not the author of confusion. But there is a lot going on. And then also you will get email notification when I schedule a master class, okay? And so just be on the lookout for those, Okay, because you want to, if you can attend the live, that's great. If not, you will still be able to access the archived masterclass. And those are various how-tos, okay, for things in life. Because after all, what are we doing in God's reality, right? We have to relearn how to live our life, right? Absolutely. Because we realize that we've been surrounded by toddlers and adult bodies our entire life. And we've been lied to since birth about a lot of things. And so, yes, God told me, He's like, I don't need that extra padding because now we've got memory foam padding in these sneakers. So He told me, He said, just move around a little bit. Because even public speakers don't stand there like this. Okay? We got to keep the circulation going. That's all there is to it. And we start to see just how the enemy keeps people in their childhood, right? Celebrating all of these glitz and glam, pagan tradition. Oh, I got to share this with you. I remember telling a narcissist, a Jezebel, that since I learned about it, that a particular holiday that's supposed to be for celebrating the birth of Jesus, which, by the way, spiritual warriors for Christ, we celebrate that every day, okay? Because, well, it's Christ who walks through us now, right? Okay. So we celebrate Jesus. We thank Jesus every day. We thank God every day. Absolutely. We have to show that gratitude. I take a look around this little place that God picked out for me, and I am grateful. And then the things that we have to work with, and I am grateful. That's what it looks like. I look at my little Post-it note tablet, and I'm like, thank you, because it really helps. Little things like that, right? And then for these things, thank you. You know, we've got to be thankful for what we have, for what God has had us get, what God provides us with. We've got to be thankful. And we are. So we're practicing gratitude because we have nothing. There's no reason to be complaining about nothing. When you get in God's reality, oh, come on now. There ain't nothing to complain about because in God's reality, what? We're pulling down strongholds, yeah. But we're learning more about all the things that we missed while we were in the first two realities. Yep. As we start to realize that how the enemy keeps people in their childhood in that way. Because what does that do for the narcissism side of marketing? Think about it. Think about it. The narcissism side of marketing is all about getting people who live in fear, right, to act on their impulses. And if they are a toddler in an adult body, now we've done this before, we knew better, okay? But since now we know better, I can bring it to the awareness that these toddlers in adult bodies who have no impulse control, right? So they're living in fear, and that will cause them to do what? That's right, to go out and buy things they really can't afford and that are just based on impulse. Impulse buying is what they do. And that's what the enemy wants. Because that's how he stays in their finances. Everybody, listen, y'all, the enemy is in all of our finances in some way, shape, or form. It's just we learn to be more mindful of what we allow. Hello, Chris. Welcome, welcome. And I know you've got some stuff you can add to this as far as noticing the childlike nature of the matrix out here and how it keeps people in their childhood. I know you've got some insights. Absolutely. I know you do because we've been talking about this every now and again. And so we want to remember that when we see how childlike the matrix really is, well, it makes sense. You know, the psychology behind it is you treat people as a toddler for 30, 40, 60 years of their life. Well, then that's what you're going to get, right? That's what the enemy wants, to keep them stunted emotionally. Because keeping them stunted emotionally does what? Keep them traumatized. See, chosen one, we have the ability. That's why God awakens us at his appointed time. And I will share with you all that I already started putting away childish things when I entered undergrad. I just didn't know that's what I was doing yet. Okay? And I do remember having some of these narcissists tell me that I seemed to be a bit more mature for my age. And I was like, what exactly is that supposed to mean? Now we understand why I would ask that question, because maturity has nothing to do with our age. No, obviously. We got 70-year-olds out here acting like a 3-year-old, throwing a temper tantrum in the grocery store. You cannot convince me that that is normal, because it's not. That's right, it's not normal. Oh, yeah. Treated like 5-year-olds. It's absurd. Absolutely agreed. 100% it is. But they do, that's all that coddling. Yep. It's all that coddling that they got to do, because they want people to stay in their childhood. Because they know that if we grow up like we're supposed to, that we'll start to see through a lot of stuff. Especially chosen one. Yeah, we start to see in the spiritual, and I know they're going to look at us like we're crazy. I came across a post from one of our fellow believers, and I hope that they are referring to the dark side of spirituality not being Christianity, because righteous spirituality absolutely is 100% part of being a Christian. Chosen one who can see in the spiritual, yeah. And so, by definition, spirituality, because of the world views, okay, I want everybody to be clear about what spirituality is. Okay, it's on the righteous side of things. We're not on the dark side of things. No. And when we say we can see in the spiritual, it just simply means we can see the demon of hate. We can sense the negative energy. But yes, a lot of these, workplaces and stuff out here, a lot of them do that. They do treat employees and everybody as 5-year-olds. Absolutely. Think about the reward system out here, right? There's nothing wrong with having a rewards card. Just be mindful, right? That's all. I got them, but they don't go to my head. See, that's the thing. Let me show you all what I'm talking about, for those who may not know. Yeah. All right, I'm just going to grab a few to give y'all perspective. These right here, these reward cards, right? Okay, like I got one for AutoZone, right? One for CVS, and then for the gas station, right? Okay, nothing wrong with having them. We just don't let it go to our heads. Okay, I just want to show y'all that there's ways people will let those go to their head. The ones with the scarcity mindset. I don't use those very often. The CVS one, that depends. But I don't even check in to see how many points or whatever. Now, when I used to go to a place called East Coast Wing back in North Carolina, I did redeem, like, if I got $5 in rewards off my order, I would use it, absolutely. But that's not because of the scarcity mindset. But hey, it's there, you may as well use it. Don't go to your head. That's the point. Nothing wrong with having them. Oh, yeah. A lot. Oh, okay. A lot of your experience gets stifled by the process they have in way. I don't listen. Oh man, can I relate? Many of us can relate to that. Absolutely. Because the matrix, okay, out there the matrix does not want to allow those of us who have a lot of experience and knowledge, wisdom, they don't want that. They want doormats. This is why, and I know how you feel because, listen, we're not bragging, y'all. When he says he's got, look, he's been an adult for a long time, right? And so he's got a lot of experience, life experiences that he can bring to the table, but because of the workplace policies in place, they get stifled. That's deliberate. So there's your tip right there, Chris. Write down those life experiences that place is stifling. That's your starting point. Yep, that's your starting point right there. Because we learn later on that what it is the enemy was trying to, squander. Those are the very skills and experiences that are part of our purpose. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. There's your starting point. So that's for anybody who needs that starting point right there. If you are in a toxic workplace or a workplace that is not allowing you to reach your full potential based on what you know about your experiences that you could bring to the table, but they won't let you because of whatever absurdities they have in place for the process there, that is your starting point for God to introduce you to your purpose. Those are the very things, the very talents and gifts, things that you can bring to the table that would improve, right, or make things better in that workplace. But no, the matrix doesn't want better. No. Remember the game of narcissism, right? They want to, they don't want anything better than them to come along. Think about it. What do we know about narcissists, right? Right, they have overinflated egos. They have big heads. And it's no coincidence that our Facebook avatars also have big heads. I bet you didn't notice that till now, huh? Some of y'all did. That was one of the first things I noticed when I created my avatar. I thought, that's interesting that they would make the head bigger with the tiny little... Never mind. Our avatars look like bobblehead dogs. I don't have any other way to put it. But yeah, and that's deliberate, right? Because that is the system of narcissism with the demon of assumption, thinking that we also have a big head like all the other narcissists. And we don't. Chosen ones never do that. Chosen ones do not let things go to their head. Chosen one, we pretty much, it's like to each his own, dude. Right? And we're not bragging about anything, but I know how you feel. You would think that they would value life experiences, but they don't. They don't. Oh my gosh. You know what they prefer? That stuff right there is what they look at first. But I'm here to tell y'all something. When I bring y'all this stuff, it's a combination of education and experience, and vice versa. But God knew that the world was going to want to see something because they walk by sight. Oh, so do. Bring it. Bring it, Chris. Tell us. You know what? I don't think it's going to surprise those of us who know about narcs with their big head and their projection. That's right. And remember, that's what the enemy, oh gosh, that's what he likes to do. He wants all of them to have bigger heads. Remember what God said, Romans 12:3, right? Let's look at that, shall we? Romans 12:3, because the simple fact is very important to not ever forget. Okay, Romans 12:3, God tells us, for I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God had dealt to every man the measure of faith. We got to stay humble, right? How are you going to stay humble? Right? How do you stay humble if you're thinking more highly of yourself than you ought to, right? That high-mindedness that they have prevents them from being able to truly humble themselves. And remember, the enemy had convinced a lot of people when God said they'll come to God as a child. Jesus clarifies what he means. In the very next verse, talking about being humble yourself as a child. Not as an actual toddler in an adult body. That is not how God wants to see us come to him. No. He wants us to humble ourselves. In other words, right, we don't go out there with flamboyancy. We don't go out there, trying to impress. We don't go out there being easily impressed, right? Chosen ones are not easily impressed. We can care less. All that glitz and glam is just for entertainment on this world stage. That's it. That's to keep those toddlers in adult bodies entertained so that they don't realize that they are toddlers. They don't even know they're toddlers in adult bodies. Think about it. Okay? Think about it. They don't even know. Jude 1:4. God said, the many crept in unawares. Okay, so our fellow warrior had a narc that kept making a comment about the size of his head. And your head is normal size. I believe that. Yeah, absolutely, chosen one. And just thought how odd it was that he was obsessed with my head. Was he seeing that was exaggerated? Well, remember, narcissists are obsessed with what they don't have and with what they do, what they think they have. So basically, what he was doing, trying to tell you that you have a big head, he was basically letting you know that he has a big head. So he could tell that the size of your head, that because of the simple fact, we're not talking about in the physical, you all. Okay, just so you know. We're not talking about in the physical. It's the fact that our fellow warrior doesn't go around thinking of himself more highly than he ought to, right? It shows. They can tell that about us. They can tell that we don't have big heads like they do. Like they think they're the cream of the crop, right? They think that they're, they think that they're all that and then some, right? Well, chosen ones don't think that way, and they can see that. So that's why he got obsessed with it, because he knows himself that he has a big head. He does think that he's above. He's got a superiority complex. Okay? So he knows that about himself, but he could tell about you that you do not. And he's jealous of that. It's that demon of jealousy that leads to that kind of obsession. Never forget that, you all. If you see that they are obsessed with something about us, that lets us know immediately what they're jealous of. Let that sink in, okay? So you'll know that they've got the demon of jealousy. What do we know about the demon spirit? Well, they don't just come up with one. They come as packages. So over time, you'll know that, see, the demon of jealousy is almost always going to accompany the demon of hate. Well, that's the other part of it, trying to get a rise out of you. Yes. Trying to get you to feel as though you might have to defend yourself. And so kudos for not doing that, because that means that you have overcome that trigger. For anybody who needs that, yes, remember, a trauma response is them when they are able to trigger us into making us feel as though we have to defend ourselves or something about ourselves. That's the trigger. So when we stop doing that, we overcome that trigger. We no longer feel, you know what I'm saying? We no longer feel like we have to defend ourselves. So I want to congratulate anyone who has overcome that. And for those who have yet to overcome that, keep going. All right? Because you will get there. You will understand that that's what they want. How many times did we do that, right? We were made to feel like we had to defend something about ourselves when they were criticizing, right? That demon of criticism, right? And so they would make us feel as though we have to defend ourselves or something about ourselves, okay? And so we learn not to do that anymore. So it doesn't trigger us anymore. Because many times when it worked, they would sit back there with that smirk on their face, wouldn't they? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because that's what they wanted. They wanted to see if they could still trigger us. Okay. Well, I'm not surprised. Narcissists are very arrogant. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. We weren't talking in the literal sense. Right. We know. Yep. That too. That's classic with narcissists, y'all. The more we ignore them, the angrier they get. That lets us know what? They've got the demon of anger. Okay, so we've got the demon of hate, the demon of jealousy, the demon of anger. Let's see if we can identify. Okay, yeah, other people around. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's how these narcissists are. Yeah, talking about things that, yeah. So that's pretty intriguing that the others in the environment were wondering what is he talking about at the same time. That's intriguing. But that's also very telling. Yep. Very telling. That is classic for a narcissist. That's how they are. And yeah, they don't like being ignored. That's for sure. Another reason why we keep ignoring them. Especially when we've identified them. Because, well, God tells us not to walk in the counsel of the ungodly. So that's what he means, right? Now, listen, for those of you, well, and myself included, okay, let's be clear. I'm going to repeat this for y'all. What God means by that, by not walking in the counsel of the ungodly. In other words, we are not, first of all, we are not going to the evildoers for counseling, right? For any kind of wise counsel. Right? Because you're not going to get it from them. Not going to happen. Okay? We don't go seeking wise counsel from the evildoers. Because we learn on this journey into God's reality, we learn that they will oftentimes give you bad advice and incorrect information on purpose. That's why we don't ask them nothing. We go to God. And then if we need to, a fellow chosen one. Like I have a fellow minister I seek wise counsel from every now and again. because he's been at this longer than I have. Okay. And so yeah, y'all are not alone. I do too. I seek counsel, but I'm careful. Yeah, fellow minister who knows the spiritual truths as well. So, do you think narcs have most or all of the demon spirit in them? I would say that the part-time narcissist would have some. They may have anywhere, I mean, yeah, they may have some to half. The narcissists that have all of them, the narcissists that have internalized every single negative spiritual energy and emotion, those are your Jezebels. And those are the ones that God reveals first in the awakening. All right? Just anybody who needs that, hang tight, okay? If you are at that season where you're like noticing more and more of them are Jezebel, God has to do it that way first. Right? For whoever needs it, because he revealed the Jezebels first so that part-timers are easier to identify. Okay? He needs us to be familiar with the Jezebels who have every single demon spirit. And which one will be in operation at any given time depends on who the target is, who the audience is, right? And then also the role that the Jezebel is taking on to play. But they often will take on the victim role. That's their favorite role to play, y'all. They love their victim mentality. The woe me, right? Oh, they love that because society eats it up. Right, narcs and wisdom. No, they don't. Narcs and wisdom do not go together. No, remember, the elevator for these narcissists does not go all the way to the top. I'm going to repeat this for whoever needs it, because this is something we come to realize. Yes, they are going to have the knowledge necessary for their area of expertise, because after all, they did what? Right, they had to work and pay bills and stuff like that. And yeah, the basic function of society. But as far as having any kind of wisdom outside of that, no. They're not going to have it. They don't want it either, because they're so trauma bonded to whatever matrix they are trauma bonded to. That's all they know, and that's all they want to know. They like their familiar spirit. They like that comfort zone. It's almost as if, like they enjoy living in fear. That kind of makes sense when you think about how that would feed their adrenaline addiction. Never forget that, y'all. The narcissists are very addicted to their adrenaline. Remember when we were growing up and we went through those seasons, right? I know I did. Yeah, I watched the whole series of Resident Evil. Are you kidding me? I was like, yeah, what's going to happen next? Right now I'm like, ugh. No thanks. Let me go cook a roast. We don't want any more of that. That's one of the things that we put away. We're supposed to, as we become more Christ-like, maturing and growing, outgrowing things, putting away childish things. Chosen ones do not get addicted to their adrenaline, and that baffles the narcissist to no end. So it's almost as if the narcissists know that they like their adrenaline, but they don't realize they're addicted to it. But they really don't understand it either. They don't understand that adrenaline is what contributes to them acting on impulse and always feeling anxious and things like that. They don't realize that that's norepinephrine. That's an anxiety-inducing chemical inside the body. So naturally, Yeah, see, remember, they projected that outward onto us, right? Yeah. So we learn to overcome that by getting control of ourselves. We get control of ourselves, manage that empathy switch, keep it off. They can't get an emotional read on us. It drives them nuts. And so they just basically expose themselves even more. Because we learned that it's not normal to try to be in 10 different places at one time. But that's what they do. Just like a little toddler. So we see how childish it is out there on the devil's playground. And so, like I talked about before, we're starting to see it on social media. And it's like, I go live on Instagram, right? And like if it's a Monday, if it's not a Monday, let's say I did not go live Monday, but I go live on Tuesday. I get this little symbol from IG, and it says, "Way to go! You've gone live 7 weeks in a row." And I'm like, yeah, but I go live several days of the week. So what's the big deal? But see, that's how they do it. That's how childish even it is on social media, trying to treat us like we're 5-year-olds. I don't care about that. But the narcissists do care about that. That would make the narcissist go, yay! I felt so silly doing that. Oh my goodness. All right, fellow warrior, what you got for it? Oh gosh, yeah. Right. Yeah, the narcissists are always chasing after an adrenaline rush. Yeah. Yeah, don't beat yourself up over the spelling, you're good. Okay, yeah, a narcissist will insult people to the point where the narc is about to get punched in the face. They will. Absolutely. Absolutely. If they know their target will react violently to them, that's the button they would push. Hello, welcome, Jeremiah. Okay, that's the button they'll keep pushing until, if they know that person has that tendency. Oh yeah. This is why the narcissist will always, and I mean always, poke and prod. Want to see what button they can push. Yes. Okay. They will always do that. This is a big reason why. Because if they know that they can get to that person, and that person has a tendency to lash out in some way, shape, or form physically, all right? If they know that person has that tendency, oh yeah, that's the button they're gonna keep pushing. It's just like when the narcissist knows something irritates or annoys us, they're gonna do more of it. That's right. That's a good way to put it. They try to find your sore points. Right. And so when I heard my mentor in spirit give a very spot on message that resonates, because it happens, right? We start working on ourselves and we go through we go through hoops, we work, right? We're making progress, we're getting forward, right? But if we're not fully healed from the trauma, we can be set back real easy by one person that knows our sore points, if we still have them. See, that's what trauma healing comes in. And so if somebody in your world, let's say, you have done a complete 180, right? You are improving your life. You're getting closer to God. You're getting closer to the other side of that rainbow. But there's still that one person that comes around, says or does something that just sets you back. It's unfortunate that happens, but it does, because while you're focusing on making the improvements and things like that, you got to also be focusing on trauma healing. You got to overcome them triggers, because if we don't, that's what's going to happen. So that's for somebody, because to overcome those trauma triggers, to no longer let them get to us, so it won't give us a setback, right? Cause us to step out of character or anything like that. Because if they can still do that, that can set us back. Because that caused us to fall from grace again. Oh, God talks about it in His Word. That yes, we can fall from grace more than once, and many of us have. But now that we're aware, getting that heightened awareness, that's right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the narcissists are childish, and they will always act like mean little children. Yeah. You know, the ones that we used to call the meanies in school. Yeah. They remain that way. And a lot of it stems from their own self-loathing. Yeah, their own self-loathing. So we learn, all right, because trauma healing is so important. The enemy knows that it's possible. Myself and many others are living testimonies to it. But if there's still that one person in your world that can get under your skin, that's the key to focus on right there, to overcome that. Whatever it is, because you do not want to allow, that's the thing, y'all, the power and authority on the inside of us, chosen one, is to not allow the narcissist, the evildoers, to get under our skin anymore. We don't allow it. That's very mental and spiritual, right? It's like I talk about a lot, where we have to be intentional with that, because we don't want to keep letting the evildoers get under our skin. Because I'm here to tell you that I have not forgotten about it. All right, I will be giving you all a short live, regular vertical live when I go out and about. But for those of you who have been with us for a while, and you know my current situation, I have to stay focused on the, let's just say, the mending of these, okay? And so for me to take, I mean, I can do just fine, you know, with the support that I have, but I would like to be 100% before I do that. So we're letting God guide our steps on that, on how I navigate through that matrix, and nothing gets to me. I can see the phony baloney. Oh gosh, yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? That saccharine sweetener. You walk into the grocery store somewhere or whatever, right? And you get your stuff. Then you get up, you find an overly chipper cashier. Okay. You know what you're dealing with. And they happen to be in their 60s and they're overly chipper. That's not normal. Nobody's that daggone happy. That's the way to do it. You can avoid the narc at the supermarket by having your food delivered. Yeah, listen, for those of you who may need to go that route, there's your tip. Thank you, fellow warrior. Right there, okay? If you are at that season where you're just fed up with getting those looks of hate, the evil eye out there in the supermarket, that might be something to look into. But I like to go pick my food out. You know, my the salad. Yeah, salad stuff, my broccoli. Yep. Portobello mushroom. Oh yeah. We have made a major transition, you all. God told me to do it. It was time to ease off of what would be called junk food because we're not as anemic anymore. Glory be to God. And so yes, I have a top sirloin roast in the crock pot. And I'm smelling it. I just gotta share that with y'all. Because we have got, listen, part of trauma healing is getting a hold of ourselves. And that is what will help us overcome triggers. So here's the tip I have offered before. If you are still finding yourself, like you're working on it, right? You're making those self-improvements. You've been letting the renewing of the mind take place and such. Somebody, and that one person that analyze whether or not you can go no contact 100%. How about that? That's tip number one. If that person actually did get under your skin, they knew exactly what button to push, right? And it set you back a little bit. All right. Analyze whether you can go full no contact. Because if you can, that's what you do. You block them, block their number, and delete them. And don't fall for the Hoovers, because you know they're going to do it. No, you're not keeping me from dinner. I don't know that. I had my lunch. that dinner for later this evening. God is helping us accomplish a goal. Because once we are in God's reality and we realize that the environment we were in was keeping us in sort of a 9 to 5 type clock. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not for me. So I've been getting out of that. Because it just became a custom ever since I did work that last toxic workplace. And so it got ingrained. And then that household, okay, because they worked in that realm. So that's the clock, body clock, right? And so, you know, when you're in an environment, it tends to rub off on you like that. And so I was still operating in that mode. Even though I wasn't really doing a 9 to 5, I was operating in that time frame and calling a day if I didn't have any session by 5 o'clock. We're not doing that anymore. Glory be to God, because I was like, listen, I can't do that. So I remember when I was in other places in the workforce, and my body clock prefers more of a second shift type thing. Always had, even when I drove truck. Usually starting around 2 or 3 p.m. and then working that section. That's just been my preferred. Okay, so God is helping us. For whoever else needs that, let God help you. If that's a similar situation you're going through, because remember, when we get in God's reality, we get into our purpose. Okay, we can't operate the same way that we've been operating, right? Yeah, it's not going to happen. God's going to switch things up. That's all part of the process. So somebody needed that to help y'all put it in perspective, because it takes a little while to get out of that. So that, yeah, I'm not a fan of waiting until 11:30 to go to Walmart. However, got to do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? All right. Got to do what we got to do. And then make it back here in time to get up here with y'all. And we go live twice. For those who don't know this. I definitely, now, every now and again, Tuesday, after the 2:30 Truth Seekers live podcast on Tuesday, Sometimes we might go live. All right. So I don't know. It depends. Like this past Tuesday of this week, we didn't because God was like, we don't have to do that. You take a break. But Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the CHA show, Sunday, okay? Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The CHA, which is Consulting for Heightened Awareness show. It's structured along with the Motivational Monday show. Okay, those 5 evenings between, anywhere from 5:30 to 6:30 or even 5:15 to 6:15. It just depends. Okay, anywhere in there. You can expect to see a notification, hopefully, for when I go live on YouTube and Facebook with another message. But those are structured for advertising as well. Because God needed me to put what I have learned into action. Because advertising works. Obviously. Or we wouldn't buy the things we buy, right? Bingo. So God said, I have a lot of things in position that I need to be promoting, that 5th P. So thank you to all who understand that. I have no, as far as trucking these days, especially for owner-operators, I don't have a clue. I have not kept up with it. I ended that tenure, not tenure, but that I ended that career, if you will, 2000. It was 5.5 years. We started in 2004, and so it was about halfway, 6 months, 8 months into 2009, and that's when I call it quit on that. So it's almost 6 years, but 5.5 on average for doing that. So that was 2009. That was a long time ago, and I have not kept up with any of the changes and things like that. I have not kept up. So I don't know. The only thing I can suggest on that is research. I'll be honest. Yes. As an owner operator, it was and God correct me if I am mistaken because I'm trying to remember, but it was a Peterbilt 385. And then I know that when we were company drivers, it was, oh gosh, I don't recall what brand it was. Just went blank. But I do remember the Pete 385 as owner operators. It was dark green. So there you go. And that was an experience. But to help y'all put it in perspective, this is for somebody, okay? Whenever God has us go through certain things, okay? God has us go through things in life. And that particular season of my life, I enjoyed traveling. That was not the issue. I just wasn't working with the right partner. I had an angry narcissist for a husband and a coworker. Yeah, I don't know if I had had a better partner to drive with that I would have still been doing it. I have no clue, but I doubt so, because that is definitely a different kind of lifestyle, big time. It is a massive lifestyle change. So, but I realized that was just to prepare me for future business trips because I enjoy traveling. Many chosen ones do. Right? I'm guessing here. I'm not going to assume. But I know that I enjoy traveling. Because I'm always with the Godhead, right? Godhead is always with me. So I'm never traveling alone. Yeah, no, yeah, no, it's not easy to be full-time trucking. I can tell you that. Yeah, see, once we've already given the message, we don't know where the conversation goes. It just goes, right? And I'm answering questions, things like that, because we've gone the 1 hour mark. So I'm noticing on average that most people will stay with us roughly for the hour. And then I know some of y'all will stay with us through the whole broadcast. So either way. So yes, I am paying attention to that as sort of a stats thing. And I will tell you this, that the more we see going on out there in that narcissistic, the more we realize that's always been going on out there. Yeah, we realize that that's always been going on like that. Things have always been that way. Because, again, nothing new under the sun, right? So, that being the case, in God's reality, as we grow and mature like we're supposed to, and we put away childish things, as we are instructed, yeah, it's us putting away childish things that helps us to notice how childish it is out there in the matrix. Think about it. Because if we were still holding on to and engaging in childish behaviors, right, we're not really going to notice it as much. But we start getting that heightened awareness, that spiritual awareness. We start outgrowing things like we're supposed to, right? We start putting away that childish thing, that childish thing. We overcome the trauma triggers. We no longer allow for them to get under our skin anymore, right? Okay, we get to that point. The more we're going to notice, because we are no longer playing the game. And they can see that about us. They don't like to see it. That's the thing. They don't like to see it because when they see that we are growing up and maturing the way that we're supposed to, it just reminds them that they're not. So it is what it is. So I'm going to put this out here. When y'all have time, if you wouldn't mind, at your earliest convenience, whenever you get to it, our Facebook business page, Consulting for Heightened Awareness, the My Social link is in the video description below for you all to find the Facebook page. Many of you have. But it needs some reviews. Okay? So I am going to ask. Also, for those who would like to leave a Google review, thank you to those who have. And I'm going to thank those in advance who will. That direct link is also in the video description below to leave Consulting for Heightened Awareness a Google review. And then also our Facebook business page can use a little help with that. You've not found the Facebook business page. Okay, let me see what I can do for you. Hold on 1 second. Let's see what I can do here. It's going to take because I got to open up a different browser, so it's going to take a second. Okay. Yeah. I know that the My Social page, let me see. Let me see what I got going with that. But yeah, we continue to see how childish these things are. And then we also start to notice the childishness of social media and technology too. Of course you're going to have that. I mean, because they're going to promote toddler behavior. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's let it load up. There we go. All right. Let me see where this takes you. I'm trying to think. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, the Facebook link on the My Social page of the website takes you right to the business page. At least it did me. So let me see how this works. Let me know if this link right here, I'm gonna put it right here. Let me know if that takes you. Because that is linked to the Facebook link on the My Social page of the. Okay. Yeah, it's on the My Social page. It took me right to the business page where you can hit the little follow and then you can leave us a review. I highly appreciate y'all that do that. Thank you, because we're trying to get, I was hesitant to start asking y'all for some reviews because I'm not dependent on them. Like, we're not dependent on external validation. But one thing that came to my attention, God reminded me of, is that we do live in a world full of trust issues, and we understand that. So those reviews will help build or earn trust, because we're not out here. It's like the executive producer for our BBTV show. And just so y'all know, I don't get paid for that yet. Don't know if I ever will. But we're doing what we love. So for anyone who might have thought that we were getting paid to be on that network, they identified an audience for our content. They came to me. I didn't even know they were around. All right? That's why I'm telling y'all, chosen one, opportunity come to us. We don't have to go chasing after them. But the reviews do help to build and earn trust. I get it. But it's like our fellow warrior, they can attest to this, that the courses at CHA Academy are exactly as I have told you all. They are simple. They're not, they're not overly anything. They're educational. That's right. With tried and true techniques, basic scientific facts, everything's already in there. PDF notes to accompany each chapter and video lesson. That's right. In fact, for the lessons, I'm reading from my notes in the video. I'm reading to you all the notes. And then your bullet pointed printouts and things like that. Easy peasy. And you get access to the community forum. You see everything that's going on in there. It's going to take a little while when you first enroll and become a member. It's going to take a little while for you to navigate. You'll get to know. So we understand that. But we're active. Like I was saying at the beginning, we're not one of those instructors that just sit back and There you go. Okay, thank you. All right. It does work. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to make sure was that it was taking you to the business page. Because I see you over there liking some stuff, Chris. So, and that's why I'm presuming that it's you who has given a like on a few of our videos. Because I see it in the notifications on Facebook. So I'm guessing you're the same Chris Miller. All right. Already on. Okay, then you must be because, yeah, you must be. So let me go into the thing here. I have a Christopher Miller. That would be you. Now, as far as I'm going to look and see. Oh gosh. All right, Chris, do me a favor. If you find, oh goodness, okay, there's a lot of Christopher Millers. Okay, as far as my personal profile, if you want to connect via friend request, we can do that. Okay, so if you see the following button already clicked, okay, then that is you. Okay. And now as far as my personal profile, let me see if I can get that link. I don't know if you found that to send me a friend request or not. It's probably going to be easier for you to send it to me because there's a lot of Christopher Millers there. Yeah, I'm like, hold up a second. So we can connect over there too. Let's see. Where am I? There it is. Because we have to have the personal profile in order to create a business page. I found that out. I really just wanted the business page. But let me see if we can. I have to let that load. Okay, there we go. All right, I want to see if I can share this link with you. Thank you for your patience. I know. I got to find it. Okay. I don't know what that is. Okay. No. Not what, okay. Well, let me see if I could just. Here we go. See if this is. That's my personal profile. Yeah. It would be, yeah, friend request would be on the personal profile. Right. I'm just making that. So that's that. Okay. As we get some stuff squared away, I appreciate y'all patience, whenever we embark on getting social places to you all. And this is what we do, iron sharpening iron up in here. Remember, the message that matches the title is usually delivered within the first 30 minutes to maybe 45 minutes or an hour. And then I might recap, as far as that goes. But let's just chat, right? So I deliver the message, y'all share your insight, and then we go on to making sure we're all connected with one another. Okay? That's what we do. We want to stay connected because listen, y'all, chosen ones, we got to stick together. All right, so I am going to go ahead and wrap this one up here in a few minutes. And so I know you'll get to that when you do, fellow warrior. All right, Chris, thank you. And I want to just, go ahead and remind everybody, because I know that my Facebook reel got, well, by now it might have 400 views, but we understand why people are not hitting the like button on that, because it is a promo for the Action Creates Traction, right? On November 26th, 2023 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, in place of the normal Let's Just Chat show. It's an online coaching event. I did a short reel promo for that. And I put it out across all social that I could put it on yesterday. And it's a Facebook reel. And as of this morning, I saw 396 views, but nobody hit the like button. That's pretty telling. I was like, so you're telling me we got 396 narcissists who viewed that? Interesting, huh? Because we know that our genuine supporters, because what does that do, right? Yes, when you hit, the more likes it gets, right? The more likes that it gets, the more views it gets, the more likes it gets, the more tickets we sell. And the narcissists know this. So let that sink in. Oh, I'm not letting it discourage. No, it didn't discourage me. It just intrigued me. Because I thought, wow, that's a lot of narcissists. I mean, really, 396 narcissists that viewed that reel. But no one gives it a like. I'm telling you, thank you to all who do give our content some love and even a share. All right? Yes, thank you in advance. Thank you to all who have and who do hit the thumbs up or the heart, hit the likes. And then you also share with someone that you know will benefit from the content as well. We appreciate that more than you know. And so that event, yes, Action Creates Traction. You're going to get some action steps and tips to help you put what you've learned into action to create that traction, because that traction is pulling power, and we are pulling down strongholds in the spiritual awakening. And so as a reminder, the prerequisite to that event is for y'all to at least have that list, okay, where you're starting to unpack that bag, okay, talent, gifts, all that's derived from your skill set and experiences, life experiences, okay? You want to have those written down. And then you want to have at least one new skill, it's not new once you learn it, but one new skill that you need help putting into action, okay? You might have 2, you might have 3, that's fine. But make sure you got something in that list too. Got plenty of time. It doesn't take that long. Chosen ones, we learn things quick. All right? We do. That's always been a knack for us. The ability to learn things quick and run with it. That's right. Okay, thank you. I will get to that here shortly in a minute. Thank you for doing that. It helps me out because there's a lot of Christopher Millers out there. All right. Thank you. Again. All right, everybody. So there you go. The website link in the video description below. Hop on over there and get your ticket for Action Creates Traction on November 26, 2023 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time in place of CHA's Let's Just Chat. And the perk, never forget, is that you will have access to the replay as long as you save that video link for however long you need it. There's your perk. All right? I mean, of course, you're going to get God's Word also and other things, and then you will get your questions answered too. Absolutely. Even if you catch it on the replay and you leave the questions in the comments, I will get to those. Okay? So there you go. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance. Yes, sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.